DHCP Failover is a brand new functionality in Windows Server 2012, so you can bet that you will probably see it mentioned on the exam in some form. So let's talk about what it is in this video. Well, first of all, DHCP, as you already know, is a critical network service. If this thing fails, then people stop getting addresses and it causes a problem. So Microsoft's always going to recommend that you have at least 2 DHCP servers in your network. Probably should have more, but at least 2, so watch for that on the exam. Next, large enterprise environments will a lot of times utilize server clustering, and they will include DHCP in there for redundancy, and it works great. However, Windows Server 2012 is including kind of a poor man's version, if you will, for DHCP clustering, and it's called DHCP Failover. It's a new simplified solution. Watch for this on the exam as well. This is only for IP version 4 DHCP. Now, to create a failover scope is very easy. You're just going to go into your DHCP management tool. You're going to right-click the scope that you want to configure for failover, and then you will choose Configure Failover. Then you'll just specify the partner server. Notice you're not choosing a scope on another server. You're just choosing another server that'll show up and that will start to work with that. Now, DHCP Failover is going to function in one of 2 ways that you're going to choose when you set it up. It'll either work in load balancing or as a hot standby. Now, let's talk about each one of these. In a load balancing situation, you're going to have 2 DHCP servers, and they are just simply going to replicate DHCP information between them, and they're going to stay right in sync with each other, so they both have the same DHCP information. And the servers both simultaneously serve IP addresses and options out to clients. And so we're basically spreading the load of all the DHCP responsibilities between 2 servers instead of just one. Now, this is kind of icing on the cake here. If one of these DHCP servers fail, the other picks up and just continues to provide addresses. Now, a hot standby DHCP failover situation is one where 2 DHCP servers work together in more of what we would call a traditional cluster type environment. One of the DHCP servers is designated as the active server, and it hands DHCP information out to clients. The other server is the passive server. It doesn't hand out information to clients. It just sits there and watches the action, and it will start to serve DHCP information to the clients if the active server becomes unavailable, or if it fails to respond in a timely manner, then it'll jump into action. Now, watch for this on the exam. DHCP Failover is a server-side enhancement. Said another way, you're going to set this up on the server. There's no additional configuration required on the client. The client doesn't really understand anything's different. They're sending out their broadcast on startup or when they're trying to renew their leases, and a DHCP server is responding. Watch for this also when you're setting this up, and this can be a problem. They could exploit this on the exam, so make sure this makes sense to you. When I'm setting up DHCP Failover, I'm involving 2 different servers. Now, the time differences between those 2 DHCP servers are critical. If one of them's time is incorrect, and if it's off more than 60 seconds, it will make that whole DHCP failover process fail. In other words, you'll never get it to set up. It'll try to set up and you'll get a failure. So if the time between the 2 servers is off more than 60 seconds, the DHCP server failover setup will not work. So that's the basics on failover. Go out and play with this just a little bit. But you've got enough information here to pick your way through the answers on the exam. But it's a cool technology, and you owe it to yourself to go play with it just a little bit.